Welcome to the Faith, Fiction, and Folklore podcast, or the Try F podcast, where we try not to F the podcast up. Today we're talking about the southern sun, how it disproves the flat earth. And I think it's very interesting.
So have you flipped your position on the flat earth? Am I hearing that correctly?
I don't know, man. I'm just kind of watching right now, but this is definitely throws a lot of the foundation out from under me. So
Yeah, are you having an existential crisis?
not really.
Because I've had a lot of practice in being horribly wrong. I can help you. I
really
know what it's like to be
identify,
wrong.
really tried to not identify with anything for a long time. So I haven't really identified as a flat earther, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
in a long time.
Gotcha.
But it definitely makes me think.
Yeah. It's a strange thing to identify as a flat earther. Or
It's just like identifying as a Christian or identifying as anything else.
well, to think that flat earth is a religion. That's kind of
Yeah, it
interesting.
kind of is. Yeah.
That's odd.
You could say that the globe earth is a religion. I mean, I used to say that.
That the globe earth is a religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't worship it though. I'm like, okay.
Some people.
Yeah, but it's like you have to.
Like, is it
you
a?
have to
It's a
kind of
very
believe it.
apathetic religion.
Yeah.
It's like the default religion. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah. Right.
All right, so you've got a video for us, right? So let's see. YouTube has got its stupid censorious Wikipedia thing. Flat Earth is an archaic and scientifically disproven conception of the Earth's shape as a plane or a disc. Thank you, Google. All right. So do we?
So this is Jared. He went to Antarctica.
Okay.
And it's kind of his.
So
It's
the
a little clip from a show.
Yeah, the video is The South Debunks Flat Earth from Jeranism. Jeranism.
Is he the one that took a whole group down there of flat earthers?
Well, he was part of the group. Yeah.
Was he part of the group?
Okay. Well, let's see how this goes.
If the South is exactly the opposite of the North, we live on a sphere.
It's not too loud, is
Hang on, yeah, that is loud. Hang on.
Anybody
You're allowed.
should know that the Earth is a ball if the South is as described. Now, just because you've chosen not to accept that as evidence doesn't mean shit to me. If the South is exactly the opposite of the North, we live on a sphere. Wake up. Now, you might disagree with me and say, but Jaron, I don't agree that the South is as described. Then go look. It doesn't cost $35,000 for you to go to the tip of South America and observe what the sun's doing. Because guess what? When you see the sun set right to left, then you're like, wait, it's got to go to the right. Australia is over there. We know that the sun stays above the Tropic of Capricorn. Hello? It's going left. That means the Tropic of Capricorn goes left. Is there any model in the world that says that the Tropic of Capricorn does go left? Oh, the globe? Oh. What about the South Celestial Pole? Any model call for that? Oh, the globe says that? What about below it at the South Pole? Any model? Oh, the globe? Oh, man. What about accounting for sunrise, sunset? Oh, the globe? Okay. Wow, that's really weird then. What about the sun setting right to left in the south and left to right in the north? Oh, the globe says that? Shit. Well, I don't know then. I don't know. What about the equinox being on the oh, the globe says that? Shit. Okay, I'm out of fucking things to say now. I'm out of things to say. But we measure it flat. Oh, we don't? Oh, shit. Okay. But water lies level. Oh, you guys say that too? Oh, shit. But the earth is measured flat below our feet. Yep. No, you guys say that? Shit. So we have nothing. So the flat earth has nothing? Oh, we can't look in the sky to get the shape of the ground? All right, I'm going to stick to that. Just say that every day and we're fine? Fantastic. Fantastic. That's all we got to do. It's easy.
All right, so break this down for me. From what I understand, the thing that killed the flat earth theory was the idea that the sun stayed in the sky for 24 hours. Wasn't that what did it? Or it seems like he's talking about something else.
It would have to go away from you. The way I understand it is like if you're in the South, if the South is an ice wall, like you've seen it every flat Earth map.
Yeah.
then the sun would go away from you,
Uh-huh.
right?
Yeah, as it's
So-
like revolving around the disk in some
Right.
configuration. Okay.
But in the south, it goes like you can see it go from right to left. Like
Okay,
it's
so it's not just that it's like going out of sight, you just kind of see it
well,
hovering in a
it
circle.
only goes away for like 2 hours.
It's like
Okay.
daytime all day.
Okay, so it only goes
Like
away.
per
I thought it
time.
was a
And so that-
24-hour sun though. Wasn't that like the whole thing? If you could prove the 24-hour sun, no flat Earth? Or is that different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, like that's in South America. It only goes down for 2 hours.
Okay.
So it's a 22 hours.
So, but when you actually go to Antarctica, it's a 24-hour sun.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought when they went to Antarctica.
So like it
yeah.
can't. It
Yeah.
Wait. if the sun's out for that long, why is it all ice and snow?
Tilt moves it away. You're not getting direct sunlight. So
Oh, okay.
that's why it's always colder on the poles. So
You're colder on the poles.
you're colder on the poles.
Thank you.
I don't know what it
Yeah,
means, but yeah. Okay.
I have like a hard time like picturing it in my head because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean.
No,
we
I
need to take-
gotcha. It's an odd
I'd like to
thing.
go there, honestly.
We need to take
Yeah.
this to the pool.
Well, it's
Yeah.
less than $35,000.
I think it's only like
So-
$1,500 to go to South America.
$1,500 bucks.
3400.
Yeah, it's just a long ass plane flight.
Well, it's cheaper than a trip to Ireland. So
We could do a podcast on the plane flight.
I don't think we're allowed to do that. All right, so let's go on here.
So do you have any
So
any
do I think
thoughts?
that they're
Like,
lying? I'm going to show you.
You have any thought?
yeah.
I mean, not really. It's kind of what I figured. It's like, well, the Earth's round. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's making up good points. It's just, I mean, like I said, when we had the debates ourselves, I'm kind of like, no pun intended, but this doesn't affect my world either way. Like, if it's round,
Yeah.
great. If it's flat, fine. I don't care. Like, it could be polka dotted. It could be like a piece of Swiss cheese, and planes are like flying under the crust and coming out over. I mean, it makes no difference to me. So,
Still
I
gotta
think
pay
I
them
think the
bills.
thing that messes with me because it's like there's no sun in the north, but there's 24-hour sun. Sorry, I don't know. But
No, I understand what you're
Like
saying,
you
yeah.
you have to impart a second sun with the flat Earth.
yeah,
Like, you just have to, and so
that's a good point. Yeah.
I can't get behind that because it's like I think everything is allegorical. So like I think even the Bible is allegorical for like a bigger story. Like it's a microcosm kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like all the same story over and over again. So it's like God gave his only son. I think there's only one son.
Okay.
I think that's like a fact.
We really need to explore that theory in more detail. I understand what you're saying broadly. It's just anyway. Yeah, we'd be getting off topic if I started chasing that rabbit hole. But no, I understand. Yeah, that was the one thing when I was doing the preparation for this debate. Like when we debated, it was odd because you couldn't find, no matter how hard I looked, you couldn't find one model for the flat Earth. And the issue was the sun. Even before this Antarctica stuff, nobody could agree on how the sun moved in that model. Was it really far away from the disk? Was it within the disk? Did it do little concentric orbits kind of like, within the disk itself, or was it one giant orbit? You had all these different models and nobody could agree on what things were supposed to look like. And yeah, and then there was no explanation for the heat displacement. Like you just had an ice wall, presumably because it's closer to space. But, how you have different seasons on opposing ends of the planet, like that's related to the sun and the round Earth model. But in a flat Earth model, there was no explanation that I could find for why you would have winter in the north and summer in the south with a tiny sun. You know what I mean? Like that's orbiting, that's doing giant concentric orbits. Like how would that work? There was no explanation for anything like that. And so that was the big thing for me. And it's not, I tried to find this stuff, and I kind of thought that there was a decent chance they'd have it because they had, a counter theory to gravity. I'm like, well, if they've got a counter theory to gravity, then surely they'd have some way to account for the seasons. I never found anything. Or
electromagnetism was what I always argued.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how it went down in my head. It's been a while. But yeah, I just remember the big thing was no agreement on how the sun moved in the first place. And so if you were having issues with the sun's rotation before Antarctica, I'm sure afterwards it wouldn't be good. It'd kill it now. So what is the flat Earth community doing now? Like, how are they?
They're freaking out.
They're freaking out. This is like, it's over. It's game over, man. It's game over.
I mean, everybody that Jaron's affiliated with has just started talking shit about him.
Oh, really?
Well, that's not good.
Because he's just, that's why I'm still following him, because I think he's telling the truth.
Yeah. So he's the only one that's like legitimately changed his mind. Is that what you're saying?
Well, everybody else they've either he changed his mind, and everybody else like started insulting each other because they're standing on their beliefs.
They're doubling down.
Yeah.
So he actually was willing to change his mind. Everybody else doubled down. Is what you're saying?
Right. Yeah.
That's respectable. Yeah. You have to admire that.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, let's see.
In this conversation here in a second, that I don't want to say it yet, but stay tuned. There is somebody lying in that group. I'll tell you that much. Nikki Louder says, "You've been lied to, Jaron. It's okay." Who's lying to me? What do you mean?
The sun. The sun is lying to you.
Flat Earthers? Okay, I agree. Thought you were talking about somebody else. I said if Jaron become a believer, I will get a new Bible. Guess what I got yesterday? Thanks, Jaron. Okay, makes no sense. Good for you. Somebody says here, I'm curious, is there any flat earther believes that are not religious? Well, I wasn't. You mean anybody who's not a theist? Probably not. Probably not. There will never be a flat earth model that works because the earth is not flat. Amen. That is correct. You can keep looking, but that's how I got to the point where I'm like, oh shit, there is no other map. There'll never be another map. It's impossible. Now, it baffles me that as a collective of people that think that they're smart, that they can't reach the conclusion that if the AE map is wrong, then the earth cannot be flat. It's not difficult. It just takes having one brain cell, basically. Couldn't do it. Is Jeranism still a flat earther? No. No. I want to get as far away from it as possible. Again, I thought that the earth was flat. I thought there was evidence, and there still is evidence for it. That's what I also wanted to point out. I wish people would stop coming to me saying, well, what about all your other evidence? Why don't people understand that there can be evidence of things that doesn't lead you to the correct answer? Again, a murder scene. You show up and there's a bunch of pairs of shoes. It's all evidence. It's all evidence. But only one of those pairs of shoes belongs to the murderer. And if you follow some of the pairs of shoes, you're going to get nowhere. But guess what? One of those pairs gets you the right answer. The same thing is true for what we observe on the earth. Yeah, it looks flat everywhere I look. Okay, check mark for flat. This water lies level. Oh, wait, the globe says it's level too? Well, that's not really a check mark for flat earth, is it? So you start wondering, what are the check marks for flat earth? That we don't feel like we're moving? Okay, I guess. In an airplane, do we feel like we're moving? Could you tell that you're in an airplane going 300 miles per hour or you're going in one going 600 miles per hour? Can't, can you? So you start thinking, okay, well, that's not really... So, yeah, I like the idea that it matches my senses better, but that's like somebody saying, well, I don't think there's bugs in my tummy because my senses say there's not. Who's right? The person who says there is bugs or the person who says there isn't? Okay? The people who say...
Yeah. So...
Well, props to him, man. I know after the whole Brandon Biggs thing, I especially know, it is not easy to eat crow. So, props to him, man. I admire him for admitting that.
Yeah. I still don't know where I stand, man. I'm just kind of watching. I'm not really getting behind anything, but
Well, what are you looking for? Like, what would
find it fascinating.
what would put you in one camp or the other? What would you define as compelling evidence?
I don't know. Like I said, I would like to go see it myself so I can better understand it.
Okay.
You know, solidify my worldview. I mean, like literally.
So you have to physically see the like 24-hour sun. Then that would convince you.
Well, it's hard for me to picture it in my head because I have like I see where I live is flat, and so trying to put that in my mind, it's hard for me to do. So I would like to see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I got you. I got you.
Seeing is believing.
But I don't know. I don't know if I want to be in a camp necessarily.
Well, I don't know if it, being right and puts you in a camp. I mean, well, I think the thing that makes you in a camp is when you just start dunking on people, like, and being serious about it. We disagree on a bunch of
Which
stuff.
I used to do
but-
all the time.
Yeah. Well, we disagree on a bunch of stuff, but we still like each other. We'll give each other crap, but but we still like each other. So we're not in a camp.
Yeah,
Like we have our opinions and our beliefs, but that doesn't mean we're in a camp.
for sure.
So I don't think you need to worry about joining club round versus club flat, if you switch your opinion or whatever. So I mean, I just don't think it's a concern. I usually am like, I have no idea what I am. I will tell you what I believe, and you can tell me what I am. That's kind of my attitude. So, So, I mean, I think you're good. I don't think you're in any danger of being a conformist. So, by a long shot.
Yeah.
So-
No, I don't think I am.
You got a problem with conformists?
Yes,
Yeah.
Trevor. Ba sheep. I'm joking.
Black sheep, have you any wool?
Oh, don't. No.
Yes,
we have
sir,
children.
yes, sir.
We hear that enough. Please, no. No. I just got her to quit listening. She's no longer listening to Baby Shark, and I realized, what was it?
Baby shark.
Yesterday.
No,
day
stop
before.
it. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't.
Don't do that.
Don't. She played it again a couple days ago, and I was like, oh, I forgot how horrible it was.
Yeah,
Thankfully
that's
she didn't start
awful.
playing it again.
Shit gets in your head for years.
Burrows in there like a splinter.
Yeah.
She said.
Anyway, so, Trevor, do you have any thoughts? Flat Earth, round Earth. Almost said roundworm.
What do you think, pal?
What the nature of conformity? Are you a conformist?
What does that mean, conformist?
If I say jump off a cliff, you'll jump off a cliff because you really want me to like you.
You better hold on to the other end of the rope.
No way.
How nice of you to assume I would bring a rope. So,
I'll jump, but you gotta have a way for me to get back up.
okay. So, yes, basically blindly following what somebody says without looking into it in any way yourself. That's,
Missing context.
yes, in some instances you're missing context. But I think it's most of the time just laziness, defaulting to institutions. That's really,
That's true.
yeah, what makes you like a conformist is just assuming the experts know and then not wanting to look into stuff.
Which is probably the attitude that got me into flat Earth.
Yeah.
Like, no, I will not conform to your belief. And then I conform to a belief.
There you go. It's like just an infinite regress of being a hypocrite. I gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
My
That's why I'm
My-
trying not to identify with anything.
my thoughts are, God made Earth. If He made it flat, great. If He made it round, great. Let's just keep going.
yeah, that's kind of what
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't care. I'm like, if the round Earth works, fine. And if the flat worked, like, I guess I'm more interested in utility because I figure utility is probably the best way to measure truth anyway. Most of the time. Not all the time, but most of the time. And so if something is functionally true, then you're probably on the right track.
Sure.
You know, so
Truth will set you free.
it's not a very exact measurement, but it's a pretty good reason to build. It's a pretty good basis for an inductive argument, like a probabilistic argument, you might say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my approach to stuff. So if the round Earth model works better in terms of its functionality and predictions, then you use it because it's useful for other things. That's why evolution is stupid, because it is not useful. Like, you have to assume stupid things that throw you off the path in terms of science. For example, junk DNA. We didn't study DNA for years and years and years because the basic presupposition behind evolution was that the majority of your DNA was going to be useless because it was basically dropped gene codes from the unwritten past. That turned out not to be true. Your DNA works a lot like a computer, and it's got backup processes on top of the main processes that are controlling protein folds and functions in the cell. But it took us forever and a day to find that because people wanted to, cling on to evolution and assume that basically most of the stuff within us has no purpose. Same thing with the tonsils and the appendix. People assumed your tonsils were vestigial, so they cut them out. Turns out that's tied to your immune system. Weird. And then the appendix, same thing. They cut it out because they assumed it was a vestigial. Turns out you need it for your immune system, for your digestion. Weird. Like, all these things people assume are vestigial end up having purposes. It just takes science sometimes a little bit of time to find the purpose of it. But if you've got a functional presupposition that says there must be useless parts on you, you will never see the function. Another great example of this, in the ID movement, there's this guy named Stuart Burgess, and this is fascinating. But he talks about the little tiny bones in the ankle joint. There's like 5 to 7 bones in there. And, some evolutionist was like, this is proof of evolution. These bones serve no purpose. It's like, no, they work like a Roman arch. They provide support so that you can roll your ankle and do different things with it. Like, each one of those teeny tiny little bones actually has a function because God is an engineer. And that's why the clockmaker, the version of God, the natural theology, that's why that's so valuable, because of its predictive capabilities. You can predict that everything in the body, or at least 99.9% of it, is going to have a use. And that prompts you to keep looking. But if you're an evolutionist and you assume everything is, the majority of you is just basically vestigial, you're not going to look for function when you can't see it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
For those of us who don't know what vestigial means, what does that mean?
Useless. Dead. Like a withered fruit that's just dangling off a tree.
I feel like that sometimes.
my entire existence is vestigial.
I'm a vestigial of society.
I'm vestigilar.
Perform a tonsillectomy and rid me from the gene pool. So
I have one of those.
You had one of those. You had your tonsils removed. Is that what you're saying?
Along with my adenoids.
That's okay. They took out my appendix. I am not a full man. So
Yeah.
And then they messed up my anesthesia amount, and I wound up almost dying on the operating table. That's a whole other story. But yeah.
Doctors are criminals, man. The third of the deaths in America are from medical malpractice.
Yeah. The problem is
I didn't know it was that high. Yeah.
They're taught to do that.
Yeah. They're idiots.
We're going to have another episode on the vaccine stuff because more and more stuff is coming out, and it's just...
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's just a nightmare. Like, it was... Because it's like they hid behind stupidity, and it was all on purpose. Like, it's money. Mm-hmm. They wanted to sell that shot, and so they, denied people good, effective medications and everything else. It's horrid.
Those heavy metals in you.
They want them dollar bills. So... Yeah. All right, well, Cody's having an existential crisis on the flat Earth. We'll keep you posted as his journey towards becoming a conformist continues.
Indeed.
But with all that said, this is the end of episode 2. In a few seconds, we'll be moving on to episode 3. But for now, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you.
Later.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Faith, Fiction, and Folklore. If you did, we would love it if you would subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Rumble. We can also be found on X, Instagram, and Facebook. And we are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Thank you again very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.